Hanzo, at your service.
Hey guys, let's talk about aiming. Now I see this question come up quite a bit in the comments, and that is, Hanzo, how do I aim better? Well, by the end of this video, I'm going to give you all the tools you need to start improving. I'll warn you though, this will take a few days. Adjusting to tighter mouse sensitivity and actually seeing the results of honing your muscle memory, that takes a while. I promise you though, if you stick to it, you're going to see the changes. Alright, so first off, how does someone get good at aiming? Let's refer to this nice, warm pie chart to answer that question. The first thing that people want to lean towards is genetics. You might write it off as, oh, he's just a kid with twitch-like reflexes, or he was born with way more precision than me, I could never aim like that. But the reality is, it comes down to practice. Practice can come in many forms. Some choose to isolate it, drill certain parts of their aim till they're happy with it or exhausted. And others choose to play a lot and learn on the fly. The sweet spot, I think, is a combination of both. Just like any other sport, you want to warm up before jumping into a real match. To me, this is 10 to 20 minutes in the shooting range on Sha Lin shooting the skies. If you've never drilled before, you may wish to do a few 30 to 45 minute sessions instead until you get the hang of things. You might think this sounds incredibly boring, but you'd be surprised how satisfying it is to kill sky over and over again. It almost brings a sense of peace for all the trauma from before OB35.
Time's ticking.
If you're wondering why I'm shaking my mouse every time I fire an arrow, it's a way to reset my hand, if you will. This trick is used by some pros as well. It also helps simulate locking onto a moving target. In addition, it allows me to see more of my surroundings. And seeing as I have nothing else better to do on Sha Lin while my arrow is winding up, seems like a good enough reason to me. With all of that out of the way, let's go over the 3 different types of aiming. First, we have my personal favorite, flick shot aiming. This is where you quickly flick over to your target and shoot the moment your cursor arrives. You can practice this stationary or do it while you're strafing. I prefer while strafing because it's a little bit more realistic for what you can actually expect in game, but it may not help your muscle memory as much. The second is what I'll call trace aiming, where your cursor must stay on them and then trace them for the entire duration of your shots. The shooting range is really lacking in this department. The running pip is pretty awful for practicing on a moving target because for one, he dies really quick, and 2, he's not very fast or evasive. If you're determined to focus on this one aspect, I recommend bot games, or just grind some ruckus and casual. The third type of aiming is just not aiming at all. It's what your teammates do by default. If you're more of the structured type, it might help you to come up with some kind of set drill that you can do before each play session. Here's one I came up with for Andro. Nothing crazy, just headshots down the line as fast as I can. I never could get it to where I fired the gun as fast as possible, but I got close enough, I think. Don't feel pressured to go too fast. If you can't perform the action to begin with, start at the very beginning. Slow motions back and forth between each head, then build speed from there. If you've learned any musical instruments, it's a lot of the same concepts. An artist that rushes the practice stage sounds messy, but those who respect the basics and take their time really shine when it comes to showtime. It's just occurred to me that I've forgotten one of the most important steps in this process. Many of you are probably unsure of what mouse sensitivity you should be using, and some of you may not even know what it is and currently use default settings. Luckily, there's already some pretty good content out there for that. Kami over at Kami Academy put together a really handy video for us. Please make sure you're playing at the right sensitivity before applying any of what I've shown you. For reference, I'll throw a link in the description. To compare, I play at 800 mouse DPI and 5 in-game sensitivity, while Kami plays at 400 DPI and 5 also. It's a pretty big difference, but it all boils down to personal preference and expectations. Alright, so what I want you to do is come up with your own drills. This can be with any champion, and the drill itself is only limited to your imagination. What I'm showing you here is something I came up with for Eevee really quick. In game, I want to blink from a safe location into the air, scout for a target, hit that target, blink back, then make sure that no one's camping in my blink spot waiting to kill me. With Eevee, a combo I like to use is blink straight up in front of whoever I'm fighting, then hit them on my way down. The majority of players, even when anticipating them about to do this, can't hit me during this time and I get a free shot. For whoever you're practicing, go through each scenario that you might find yourself in and build a drill just for that. When game time comes, you want to be 99% sure you're going to perform the combo correctly. The combo I'm showing here is where I'm scouting during blink, I get a direct hit, and then I use soar to close in for the kill. Well, I think that about sums it up. Here's a bonus clip while I go over my closing remarks. Thanks everybody for being such a supportive and kind audience. I want to keep putting out helpful and informative content for you guys. The next thing I'm looking at is probably a guide for items. What to buy, when to buy it, and on who. I'm also probably due for another montage soon as well. I have a few other things I'm looking to make, but if you have suggestions, please throw them in the comments. This is all a side hobby for me, so any funding via ad revenue or fan funding, which is the support button that I just put on my channel page, will go right towards the channel in some way, whether that's making it so I can afford a streaming setup or doing some kind of community event like colossal chest openings. Again, thanks everyone, and I'll see you next time.